According to family legend, our first known ancestor was a 19-year-old woman who was kidnapped from Africa, brought to the Americas, and sold into slavery. This young woman and other enslaved Africans were part of the international slave trade made illegal by the U.S. Congress in 1808, but still thriving decades later. She became known as Nancy, and when the ship in which she was imprisoned landed on the coast of Georgia in 1835, she was taken to a place called Trader's Hill and sold to a man named Isom. Nancy remained on the Isom farm for the next 25 years. She bore 4 children: York, Henry, Eliza, and Harriet. In 1853, a white planter named Jehu Mizell sold his property in Camden, Georgia, and relocated his family to Jasper, Florida. In 1860, Mizell purchased Nancy, her sons, and Eliza, but Mizell deemed young Harriet too small to work, and despite Nancy's pleading, Harriet was left behind. The family never saw or heard from Harriet again. Shortly thereafter, Mizell loaded the family on a wagon and took them to Jasper. By then, his occupation was listed as minister of the gospel. 3 years later, freedom came to Florida. In a desperate effort to end the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, granting freedom to enslaved people in the rebellious Confederate States and authorizing the recruitment of black soldiers into the Union Army. On May 20th, 1863, news came that Florida was now a free state. Nancy and her family stayed in Florida, and they took the name Mizell. By 1870, Henry owned property in the Spring Branch settlement outside of Jasper, sharing his home with Nancy, his sister Eliza, and her 3-year-old daughter Alice. In 1876, Henry married Angeline Nunn and eventually acquired a considerable amount of property. But their only daughter, Olive, died at the age of 20. Their sons married, 3 of them, to 3 Roberts sisters, and began raising families on their own farms, most of them in Spring Branch. York settled in Lake City, earning his living as a master carpenter and serving as a city councilman during Reconstruction. All of York and Amanda Mizell's children went to school. Their daughters, Bertha and Mary, were among the first generation of graduates at Florida State Normal and Industrial College for colored students, now Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, or FAMU. Nancy's long and full life ended at the age of 86 as the result of injuries suffered in an accident involving a runaway horse, an event that caused a permanent estrangement between her 2 sons, York and Henry. By then, she had witnessed the birth of more than 24 grandchildren and numerous great-grandchildren. One of her grandsons, Isidore Mizell, remembered the stories she told of her life and recorded them when he himself was an elderly man. Today, the Mizells are an accomplished and thriving bunch. They have become engineers, politicians, musicians, journalists, doctors, entrepreneurs, lawyers, ballers, brawlers, and shot callers, fulfilling the dreams of their ancestors. Thank you, Nancy, for your perseverance.